welcome. I'm Cheryl Mitchell, the president of Treleven. We're a retreat and learning center that's located here in Addison County. And it's been our great privilege for the past few years to partner with a number of other entities, especially the Vermont Community Foundation, to put on the Hogan Award for Entrepreneurial Leadership. And today I'm thrilled to have the recipient, the 2016 recipient, Michael Monte, here with us to talk about both his work and also what the award has meant to him. So, Michael, welcome.
Thanks very much. It's great to be here.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us.
Yep.
Could you maybe just give us a little bit of an overview of your work and I can tell you why we selected you, but you probably have a better idea of your history.
I was always curious about why.
Okay.
Obviously I've had a decently long career. Did a lot of youth work and community organizing when I was younger. Did a lot of great work with the City of Burlington as the director of the Community and Economic Development Office for a couple of decades off and on. And then for the last 8 or 9 years, been working with the Champlain Housing Trust, just focused on affordable housing. Yeah. And I've been in leadership role at CHT.
Which are the reasons that the committee really was thrilled with your nomination. And as you know, people can't nominate themselves.
I did not nominate
You did
myself.
not,
No, I had no idea. I did not nominate myself.
And you actually got nominations from a couple of people. So, and we selected you, the committee selected you because you really exemplified things that Hogan had put in play. And one of those was just leadership in the public good that included a real attention to facts and using facts and data to help change things, but also an ability to dream about how things could be, and then a persistence in making those happen despite obstacles sometimes. And also Con was somebody that has mentored many other people, and we had the sense, actually from talking with people, that you have been a strong figure in the lives of so many people in our communities.
Well, hearing it from you is very humbling, I can tell you that. I certainly felt fairly lucky in my career, I think lucky in my work, and I have always thought that my work was really involving, community as much as it was anything else, and it was about community building and involving people and really bringing in some new ideas to sort of old issues and old problems. So sounds right.
Sounds right. Okay.
Sounds right. Yes.
I'm wondering if you could give, for people that are listening and thinking about nominating somebody, an idea of maybe an example of a dream that you had at one point that had a couple of obstacles in the way, and how you stayed with it to make that come to fruition.
Well, I think the as far as I could tell, as Con Hogan is somebody who has always simply said, what is the problem? How do we break the problem down into its smaller parts? How do we understand sort of the details of the issue or the problem that's in front of you? And to then not get the sort of the typical things in your way, not to think so hard that this is the way things are, therefore then we can't dream about the way they should be. So Con has certainly done that. Predecessor in this award did that. I have done that in my work, and I think that's the person you want to have. I think you want to have someone in this. It's leadership, but it's also leadership with an attempt to bring new ideas to light, and to bring them in a way that is sort of both fact-based, but also is community-based. Yeah. So it requires really a balance between the two.
And you've been able to do that not just with new ideas that you had, but bringing together diverse people to solve problems. And one of the things that people really appreciate and admire about your work.
I appreciate that. I think one of the sort of the issues that I think we run into often enough in community and our society and government is folks working within different silos, and not being able to jump from one place to the other, that there's really this lack of connectivity between two different either camps or ideas. Sometimes it's just simply budgets. I remember going to a meeting in Washington, D.C., and the chief staff for the Speaker of the House couldn't really get even his own party, who was in leadership and in control, to recognize that spending money in one location would support and do something different in another location, even though they knew it, they couldn't make that change. So I think that that's the kind of thing that Con has done, and I think that's the kind of work that I've attempted to do, is to sort of see if we can break through those barriers and bring two different ideas together.
I've done it immensely well.
Thanks.
So one of the things about this award when we first decided to do it was that we wanted it to be relatively substantial. So as you know, it's a $15,000 award that goes to an individual, not to an organization.
That's right.
And we've tried to be strict to say, please, this is for you. This is, even though we really admire the work of your organization as well. And that you don't have to submit a project that you're going to do or anything. And I'm just curious, you don't have to tell me what you've done with it, unless you want to, but has it had any effect on...
Well, you know, the award itself was really just valuable enough. I mean, certainly just the receiving the recognition was great. And then the other folks congratulating me and talking to me about it and sort of piling on, so to speak, was just enormous. And, you know, it really is just, you think it's ego building and it's more humbling than it's anything, right? It's not it's not something where you build yourself up. You actually bring yourself down to a place where you sort of recognize the reasons why you might do something. And that was enormously valued. So I would put a lot of value just in the non-monetary part, but in the monetary part is great. So for me, me and my wife, we put some of that money into. We went to southern Spain for 10 days, and you know, something that maybe we would afford, but it was a lot easier to afford it with some of that money. I intend to provide a donation to an effort that is underway in Burlington that Champlain Housing Trust is taking on. Which is the St. Joseph School, which houses a daycare center, a maternal child health program, the Associations of Africans Living in Vermont, some other new programs, and I intend to make a donation to that effort on my own, as me,
yourself.
To support the capital campaign to renovate and rehab that building for the next 30 or 40 years. So
I love to hear that. I often in my days as a child care worker used to dream about being given some money that I could then give forward to another organization. You know?
That by itself, I could tell you, I think that, you know, it's fine to be sort of use the money as you want. Personally, I appreciate that. This is selfish on my part. I want to see this thing work. I want to see it happen. I think it's a great thing. I think I could afford it, and I think it's valuable, I think, to the community. So
one of our other dreams in putting this award in place was to recognize people who have really been in this for a while, have shown real leadership, but also are probably not going to say, okay, I'm retiring next year. And I'm curious if you have, it sounds like the St. Joseph's School project is something that you're invested in, really seeing to fruition. Are there other dreams that you have for your community in the next few years?
Well, you know, that's a great question because, as you said, it is mid-career, and I was slightly past the mid-career point for myself, I thought.
I had dinner with Con Hogan last night, who's, I won't tell you his age, but, you know, he's still working.
Yes.
And past mid-career a little bit.
And I've been lucky. I think in my situation, I think that the people around me, I think, have been supporting me to recognize that the award was mid-career, so therefore I should be staying there and I should not be retiring. I really have no interest in retiring. The work that I do, or that I have done, and will continue to do in the future, I think has been enormously rewarding. It's paid me okay, but I've also just had a chance to do some great things. And so, you know, I certainly don't do this alone. I do this with so many other people. And I would, you know, like to be able to continue to do that. So for me, I have certainly another 5 or so years at Champlain Housing Trust. I imagine soon after that I might wind down a little, but only a touch. And I think that there's quite a few folks out there, Con Hogan, some of our political leadership, you know, who are, you know, at our age where they should be retiring, and there's no reason for them to, because they're still being effective. They're still having an impact. They're still able to make change. And so I think that as long as I could do that, I'll stick with the program and continue to work.
And I think the expectation we had was not necessarily at the same organization, but
Yep.
still
Yes.
caring about the work. Still
Yes, I think there's,
somehow or
and there's
other.
so much to do. I mean, in the area that I'm working in right now, affordable housing, there's plenty of things that still need to get done, and I think that we have quite a bit of work ahead of us still, especially for the next handful of years.
So I'm wondering if you have any advice for people who are going to nominate somebody else.
Yes. Oh, so I guess I would be sincere, you know, sincere in the, you know, in the nomination that you make, and I would not be too hesitant to sort of think through though that I always, in my family, we always said, well, I'm just a schmo. I'm just a guy who could pick up the hammer and fix something, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't think of myself as especially, you know, sort of in leadership, but other people might. I think that you could sort of certainly say that about a lot of people out there, and I would encourage folks to simply put a name in and give it a shot. It's a valuable experience, one way or the other, I think. So I would encourage it.
Okay. Just to let people know that the application process is online at the Vermont Community Foundation site. We hope that people will nominate people that they really admire.
Yes.
And we'll be able to make a decision by early August. And we hope people will save the date. Michael's going to be our MC.
Oh, exciting.
Thank you for the ceremony on October 4th of this year when we choose the new recipient. But we're just really grateful to you for both everything that you've done in the community, but also for the way that you've helped other people to think differently, to think broadly and
Thank you.
excitedly.
I appreciate it. I think the next nominee hopefully will be even better. Hopefully each nominee gets to be better
Well, I'm not sure whether we get better. I think
No,
I hope that
better
we get
and better
different.
and better.
You know, we had Ellen Kaler was the recipient the very first year of the award, an extraordinary woman.
Absolutely.
You're an extraordinary man.
I appreciate that.
We're looking for great people. And we know that Vermont is full of them, too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Lots of opportunities.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Michael. And thanks for taking the time to be here today.
It's great.
And thank you all for watching. If you would like to nominate somebody, please go to the Vermont Community Foundation website. You'll find the link there. You'll be able to see this show again. So, and if you would like to, if you have information you want to get out to the public, I just want to give a shout out to Middlebury Community Television. They're fabulous. They do work for nonprofits, and they can help you get your message out there. Thanks.
Thank you.